Well, as we get going this morning, a lot of eyes in this part of the country are on the Conservative Leadership Convention. As you know, the Conservative Party is going to hold that formal convention in September. Prospective candidates have until the 19th of April to be in. That's when the nominations for the leaders close. June the 3rd is the membership cutoff, so people who want to vote must have obtained a membership by the 3rd of June. Pierre Poilievre, first candidate in. Leslyn Lewis, who did very well here last time, the second candidate in, and last night, former Mulroney-era cabinet minister and Liberal Quebec Premier Jean Charest announcing in Calgary. Leslyn Lewis is the story for a lot of Saskatchewan people. She did very well in the last leadership convention when she was not an MP, a lawyer, a PhD in environmental science. She won the hearts of a lot of Saskatchewan voters. Well, since that time, she has entered the House of Commons. Her riding is Holman-Norfolk, and we find her in Ontario this morning. Leslyn Lewis, thank you so much for taking our call. It's good to chat again.
Nice to be here again.
What do you bring to the leadership race in your party, and why should people support you?
Well, I am the same person I was last time, and that's the reason why Saskatchewan fell in love with me, because of the authenticity. I'm the type of person that even if I know that something is going to negatively affect my career, and I know it's the right thing to do for Canadians, I'm going to speak out against it. So people always know that I'm going to be a fierce advocate for hard-working, average Canadians. And for example, with the carbon tax, that's something that with my background in environmental studies, I'm very, very adamant that the carbon tax cannot be on the backs of ordinary average Canadians, and that we have to find other ways of protecting our environment and developing our natural resources and making sure that we are rebuilding Canada and putting Canadians back to work.
In the last leadership, many people saw you as, in terms of fiscal conservatism, social conservatism, a very favorable candidate. You're now dealing with Pierre Poilievre, who seems to have come out on that conservative flank. Is his candidacy a challenge for you?
I don't think so, because Pierre and I were both fiscal conservatives. I'm more of a social conservative than he is, and some people are very, very vote conscious about that issue, and so I don't think that there's any competition in that area. With respect to his financial acumen, he has a strong parliamentary financial background, but I've also been an entrepreneur for decades, and I have the experience of building a business, signing a paycheck, making sure that my employees are taken care of, creating wealth in and outside of Parliament. So we have different strengths, and I think that people will just judge us on those different strengths.
Leslyn Lewis with us, the MP for Holman-Norfolk in Ontario, leadership candidate for the leadership of the Conservative Party of Canada. So on the issues that face the Conservative Party, there is a conventional view inside the party, and I'm saying conventional view, I don't know if one agrees with it or not, that a clearly stated social conservative is going to have trouble attracting votes in the vote-rich parts of the country. Do you agree with that?
Not at all, because my approach to social conservatism is I tell people what I believe. I don't impose my views on others, and I think that most Canadians, they just want to be left alone to believe what they want to believe, to worship their God, to raise their children in accordance with their values. And even on something as polarizing as abortion, I have many friends who are pro-choice that we agree on certain issues. So my policies are starting from the standpoint of what do we agree on? What can we agree on? And let's stop allowing politics to divide us and demonize us. We're all Canadians, and let's just act in the best interest of Canada.
The argument goes, though, that if one was to become the Prime Minister, could you effectively change or impose those social conservative values on the Canadian legal structure?
Well, I can't live other people's lives for them. My values are in accordance with how I live my life. I've been very, very upfront with the Canadian people, and that's what a lot of even pro-choice people like about me, that I said, here are the policies that I believe we can agree on, like pregnancy care centers. Let's work on policies that we can agree on, move forward on uniting this country rather than polarizing and demonizing each other. So people are actually honest that I have a no hidden agenda platform on issues that are very polarizing. I put it out there and I say, this is what I would be prepared to invoke as policies. Do you accept them? Do you think they're reasonable? And let people choose.
Leslyn Lewis, Conservative MP for Holman, Norfolk in Ontario. Her second leadership campaign underway, and joins us to kick the show off this morning. On the issues of Canada and resource development, here in the heartland, I mean, this is an area from grain to fertilizer to oil to natural gas to uranium. There's a very resource-rich area. The prevailing view for a lot of us is that central Canada has turned its back on pipelines. It's turned its back on oil and natural gas. How does a party leader begin to pull Canada together with a view that doesn't alienate Western Canada?
Well, I think that we have to have economic policies that benefit all of Canada, and resource development, focusing on our agriculture and food processing industries. Those are all policies that help our self-sufficiency in Canada. And so it benefits the entire population. And I feel that it's better that we are self-sufficient, that we rely on our own natural resources. For example, if we had pipelines, we could be getting our oil to Tidewater and helping the European markets. Instead, what we're doing now is we're importing oil from regimes with dictatorial and totalitarian leaders, which is not good for our economy. It's not good for Canadian workers, and it's not good for our country.
Good having you here today. Next time you're through, would you drop in studio and we'll chat?
Absolutely. I look forward to that.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye now.
Leslyn Lewis joining us in southwestern Ontario, and she is the second of the Conservative Party leadership contenders in. And the interesting story about Ms. Lewis, she finished a much stronger third in the leadership convention a couple of years ago that chose Erin O'Toole, but she actually topped the ballots in Saskatchewan.